everybody, and welcome back to another Toonkind 12 FPS. I am Avi, and I will be playing Arata Satomi, our local real kind disaster thief. And I am joined today by...
It's Wick, and I'm gonna be playing Bevin.
Yee.
Yay.
I'm going to hop over to the 12 FPS roll zone, so bye, Nuts and Bolts Gallery for now. Um, where am I going to start off? So Bevin,
Huh?
you, remember Arata, right? He was,
I would hope so.
he, he was one of your partners during the, Carrot Caper adventure. He had a cat. He's also invited you to come, hang out with him at where he works, which is it's an inn. I'll say it's somewhere in the Gisnep Kingdom. And again, it's an inn. He works in like the little cafe dining area, making tea and coffee and sometimes curry for folks. Um, um, he also stays in this inn. But when you enter, he is at the behind the counter, and he is currently washing up some dishes. What do you do?
So Bevin comes in, peeks around a little, and sees Arata, and is like, "Oh, it's you! Hi! There
Hey,
you are."
hey! Come on in, come on. Take a seat. And he gestures to a stool that's like right in front of him.
Oh,
I'll get you
and
some. I'll get you some tea. Hang on a second.
um, did you want any help? And they point to the sink with the dishes.
Oh, nah, it's fine. I mean, I'll get through them eventually. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. And they attempt and climb onto the stool. Ah, it's a little tall, I think.
Yeah, well, it's a pretty tall counter, so you gotta be tall for a little bit.
So
And
now Bevan's just looking around. Um, what else is there? Is there other tables and chairs and
yeah,
stuff?
there's other tables and chairs. There isn't really much of anybody in here right now. I'd say it's like probably like in the afternoon, so
Hmm.
it's pretty empty. Um, if you want to roll a quick perception check while I put up the title card because I forgot to post that.
That's okay. I do.
F. Okay, yeah. There's not much that you can you like notice right off the bat. Um,
Oh, I know why.
what is that?
As you as Arata goes to make some tea, you hear a strange gurgling noise. Bevan's hungry.
Boy. Errata kind of like looks over his shoulder and he goes, "I'll also get you something to eat. Do you like spicy
um,
food?"
uh, and Bevan fidgets with her skirt just a little. Um, um, only if it isn't any trouble. Um, I think spicy's okay.
All right, I'll
I
make you.
haven't had a lot of spicy.
All right, I'll try and like make it just a little bit mild for you. Um, and he pours you a cup of tea, and he sets it down on the counter for you to drink from.
Mm.
And
Bevan
going to roll something real quick.
Okay.
And he has advantage thanks to a item he got recently. Okay. 12 plus, what was your modifier? Boy! I keep forgetting.
Hey, I gotta look at the sheet every time.
Yeah.
Except for perception.
Okay. So, Arata takes a couple of minutes to prep food for you, and he does so because the kitchen's right there. You can see him working, and he does so in a way that's like kind of like a little bit show offy. You see with the way he like mixes certain ingredients and cuts them up. He is trying to impress you.
Oh, well,
He's trying to
I
be
gotta say,
as entertaining as possible.
Bevin is very entertained, especially since it's a combination of, oh, they're making food, oh, they look cool doing it, but also, oh, food.
um, and after several minutes of him doing like just really silly tricks with like he probably shouldn't be doing this with a knife in his hand, but again, he seems to have this like pretty good handle on it. After a few minutes, he sets down a plate of curry for you, and he does say again, "All right, you said you just don't want it a little bit spicy, so if it's too much, just let me know."
Bevin takes a look at the plate. Oh. What is this?
It's called curry. My guardian back home, he taught me how to make it. He's the best curry maker I know.
Ah, cool. So Bevin's kind of just staring for a minute, like, oh, it looks really good. So they excitedly pick up a spoon, fork. How do you eat this?
Curry's like rice and a little bit of vegetables and meat with like some sort of like a roux sauce. So you can use a fork, you can use a spoon for the rice. It's whatever.
All right. Well, they pick up a fork. uh, they take a tentative scoop. Like they're excited, but they also haven't had it before. So, but they are pretty hungry. So as soon as they just blow on it just once, and then you just see them thoughtfully chewing for a little bit before you see their eyes just kind of widen a little with a little sparkle. Uh, this is really good. I didn't. Man, there must have been a master teaching you.
Well,
And they dig in a little more.
yeah, Arata like laughs because like I'm not. He goes, I'm not sure if he would agree with you, but between you and me, I definitely think he's a curry master.
And Bevin takes a couple more bites, and then looks at the tea, brings it a little closer to them, peering into the cup. What kind of tea?
Gosh, I don't know what tea pairs well with curry.
Oh, I don't know. I barely know what curry is.
Hang on. Give me like 2 seconds.
we gotta find out. Tea.
It's a fruity based tea, so it's probably like hang on.
we've got to figure out the
it's
right
probably
kind of
like
tea.
a kind of like a I'd say it's like a kind of like a berry sort of tea.
Mm-hmm.
It's sweet. I kind of like to help balance out the spicy from the actual curry itself. Um, and the reason he also picked a fruity kind of berry tea is because, well, he knows Bevin's a child, and in his mind, children usually like sweet things.
And this child definitely does. Evan takes a little sip of the tea. Ah, this is nice. I wonder why there's not a lot of people. And as they're
well,
looking around.
well, you know, it's getting later in the day. Sometimes some people have like elsewhere to go. You know how it is.
I guess they, they continue eating for a moment before
Uh,
already they're like at least a third to half the way done. They were pretty hungry.
just by the way, Arata looks so pleased that you actually like the curry. Like he's like absolutely positively delighted. And
Oh.
I am going to roll not for Arata, but for somebody else.
Whoa.
Give me a second, cause okay, okay. It's not your best roll, buddy. But you do hear like a soft tap 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 come down from the stairs of the inn, and a black cat with a white nuzzle peers into the room, and it's got big blue eyes, or like deep blue, and he peers into the room and he goes, I can't do the noise, but he goes,
Oh, it's a cat. And they point excitedly.
and Arata looks and he goes, Jeannie, you know you're not supposed to be down here during business hours. What's the boss gonna say? And then Jeannie just goes, and Jeannie's just gonna trot on over.
So they're still on the floor, right?
Yeah, for now. Uh,
Yeah.
Jeannie's just kind of like Jeannie might Jeannie gives you Bevin a curious look. Um, Before Jeannie just leaps onto the stool right next to you.
Um, hi. This time they just cautiously put out a little hand. They didn't want to. That they feel a little bad just randomly picking them up before, but they're just like this time. Just hand.
Just hand. Do you want to roll animal handling real quick?
Yeah. I know the deal here.
Okay.
Okay, that isn't too bad.
Yeah, that isn't too bad. Like with an 11, Jeannie's not put off by you. He does kind of like give your hand a sniff, and he can tell that you've been eating Arata's curry, but he doesn't let you like pet him just yet. he does recognize you, but he just kind of just sits right next to you, and Arata goes, yeah, well, I don't remember if I like actually properly introduced you to him, but this is Genie. Actually, his name is Genevieve, but I call him Genie for short.
Oh.
And he just goes.
Bevin turns to Jeannie and goes, "Well, it's nice to meet you." I mean, we met before, but it was kind of, and they wave their hands a little bit, like kind of messy last time.
Genie just kind of raises a paw, like, yeah, I know, it's okay. He makes another. And Arata goes like, yeah. Speaking of that, have you been since that happened? I didn't hear from you after that.
Bevin turns back to Arata and goes, I mean, I've been okay so far. I I hung out with Sammy. You remember Sammy?
Oh yeah, of course
right?
I do. Yeah, we hung out too.
You guys hung out too?
Yeah, for a little
And
bit.
they look a little surprised.
I got this toy because we went to the park and there was this there was this gosh, what was it called? It was one of those. I forgot the word for it. It's me as a player. I forgot the word for it. Yeah, there was a Ghiblian food truck, I think it was, and there was like a food stall or something, and it was a ramen stall, and
Yeah.
and Arata ducks behind the counter for a bit, and you hear him hear something rustle as he gets something out of his bag, which is on the floor under the counter. And he pulls out a toy gun.
What? That's new.
Yeah, it's here it's not a real gun. He tells you that, and he holds it out for you to take, and just goes, "Go ahead and pull the trigger."
What? So Bevin takes the gun, keeps it pointed a little away, like kind of close to the counter.
Yeah.
Are you sure? They kind of look
It's
look at her like,
it's not a real gun. Yeah, it's not a real gun. It's not going to like hurt anybody if something happens.
okay. And they hold it carefully, and they try to hold it, and they point it low, but to like a corner of the room, away from the other two. And they and then they just they they put their finger on the trigger. Okay, and so they pull it.
It pops. There's a pop as a flag shoots out, and instead of saying like bang or something, it just says ramen.
You're right. I mean, not that I didn't think you were right, but why does it say ramen?
Because I got it from a ramen stall.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did say that. And they kind of poke at the little scroll that came out with the word ramen on it.
Yeah, and he holds out a hand if you want to hand it back, and he's just like, yeah, it was when we saw it, Sammy and I just bust out laughing.
Well, it is pretty funny and kind of weird. I don't know who would sell. Well, I mean, it's kind of fun. Just didn't know. Is it ramen noodles?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
They're just kind of looking from the gun, so like they have just a puzzled look. Like,
Why would they have a gun with the noodles?
but they turn the gun around so that the handle is facing Arata to give it back to them.
Arata takes it and he rolls up the flag and pushes it back in, make sure it's all safe and everything, and puts it back in his bag. And he chuckles a little bit and he goes, well, Genie meows at him, and Arata gives like a look to Genie, and he goes, "Don't give me that. It's a toy."
Yeah, don't worry.
They turn a little to Genie.
It wasn't real. I mean, I guess I should have figured it out. I mean, it didn't feel like a real gun. I mean, I wasn't really sure, but you know, I haven't been able to hold many guns. I've only held one or two.
And they turn back to their food. They just start eating a little bit.
You've held a gun before, Bevin?
Yeah.
And they go into their hammer space. Let me just type that in. Good. And they pull out. Don't worry, I don't pull out a gun.
Oh my god.
No, don't worry. They pull out a picture, a framed picture. It's about medium sized, and they turn it around and they say,
"Oh, you haven't seen my treat. This is my treat, and this one right here."
And they point to one of the figures in the picture, who has like a stylish cowboy hat.
Oh.
They let me practice, shooting stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. They said that gun safety is very important.
They hold up their finger matter-of-factly.
So I have to be careful.
You're absolutely right, Bevin.
And they turn the picture back around and they kind of just look. And you want to roll insight?
Yeah. Let me have Arata roll a quick insight, which he has proficiency in for some reason.
for some reason.
That is. That's a 15.
Ooh. Well, let's see. Oh, okay. Not yet.
All right. Oh boy.
So for a very brief moment, you notice them grow like a little solemn for a moment, looking at the photo. But then they're like,
Well, anyway,
and they put the photo back in their hammer space.
yeah, it was really fun shooting targets with them. Because, Pappy thought I was a little young. But, I mean, they said if it's for safety, and I'm like, yeah.
So you're never too young to learn gun safety. Narada says that matter-of-factly.
They just look into the camera like in the office. It's now become a PSA. But,
It's
no.
funny because Arata's not even a toon.
So they take another sip of tea, and they take a look.
Oh, but how are you? I mean, you said you met with Sam and, you guys had fun?
I mean, yeah, we had fun. You know, we kind of chilled. I kind of felt bad for teasing him about his rival, but it's fine. Um, it's fine now, so I apologized to him. It's okay. But like after that, I kind of did my own thing for a while. I went to an art gallery. Looked pretty cool.
Well, it wasn't the same one we were at,
No,
right?
no,
Well,
no,
that was
no.
the museum.
It wasn't in the Uncanny Valley. Don't worry about that.
Ah,
There's some nice paintings there.
paint?
Say that again?
Oh, sorry. Bevin was just musing like, paintings. Paintings are nice.
Oh yeah. I've got a. My boyfriend back home, he's an artist, so
Oh,
I like to. Sometimes I just like to look around, see.
I didn't know we had a boyfriend.
Oh yeah, I do. He's
And Bevin just leans a little on the counter and like squishes their face just a little and looks intently like
You want to say more?
Yeah, oh yes. Arata will absolutely take this opportunity to gush about about his boyfriend. And like just as you lean onto the counter, Genie like gives a look at Arata and just sighs like, God damn it, I've heard this so many times before. And like Arata just goes, well, he's like I said, he's an artist. He does paintings. He's an art student. He's about my age. We actually went to different schools, but we met each other on public transport. That was a that was a mess and a half.
Oh boy.
Oh, but yeah,
He wasn't. Sorry.
Well, no, what were you gonna say?
He wasn't carrying any paint cans, was he?
No, he wasn't. But okay, this is going to sound like a really funny story, but I was with two of my friends at the time, and we were on a train, and we were in the city I lived in. It's really big. You had to use like the trains to get around. But like we were transferring lines, and my friend she turns around, and she starts looking all scared. So like me and my other friend were like, oh, whatever it is, it's fine, we can handle it. So like what ended up happening is that we confronted this guy who had been following her.
Oh.
And it turns out he just wanted to ask her to model.
Just modeling?
We were all freaked out, like, oh, is this guy like a stalker or something? But no, he just wanted to ask her to model for a painting, and I'm just like. But at the same time, he was also the cutest boy I have ever seen in my life.
Oh. Oh, that must be really nice.
Oh yeah, he invited us to an art exhibit. After that, like after everything cleared up. But like, yeah, he's sweet. He's really passionate about his work. He's nice.
So, Has he
And Bevin looks Arata up and down.
has he ever asked to paint you?
I mean, sort of. Oh, okay. This is going to be another story and a half. And like Arata takes a moment and he looks at Bevin and he looks at Genie and Genie just shakes his head no. And Arata just decides, you know what? This is a story that's probably not for a kid. So he says,
What?
I'll tell you the story like when we're out of the FPS, but
Bevin's just looking expectantly, like,
Yeah.
so
Did he?
So Arata instead, he just says like, well, yeah, he's asked me to model before. I mean, I don't know if he ever finished any of his paintings though. Of those paintings, at least. You know how it is. He's got lots of works in progress. He's always looking for something new to paint. And, you know, I just like to see what he makes.
I understand.
and Bevin kind of sits back down just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I've always liked looking at paintings and stuff. I haven't seen a lot of them, but to be able to be painted by somebody, I think that's super special.
It's even more special when it's somebody you love. And he kind of blushes as he says that.
And Bevin just kind of giggles a little bit and tries to finish their food a bit because they notice it's getting just a little cool, and they're like, oh, I gotta eat.
But this boyfriend of yours, is what's his name?
His name's Yuina.
You
Yuina Kishimoto.
nah. That's a nice name.
Yeah.
He's like you? Like a real kind?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're both real kind. He's back home. You know, I'm not actually from Inkwell, so yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
And Bevin looks a little surprised.
oh, you're not?
No. I moved here for a little bit, you know, for like a sort of, I guess you could say study trip. Except I'm like not with a class. I'm just learning things on my own, I guess.
You're going on an adventure.
Yeah, pretty
They hold their
much.
hands up excitedly.
Yeah.
Arata thinks you're super cute.
Bevin takes another little sip of tea. And again, grows a little quiet. Yeah. What a rolling another insight.
Yeah, let me. Okay, that's okay. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. That's a modified 23.
Oh shoot. Alright, so let me roll that. Oh.
And you just crit, and that's.
Oh, hey, hold on. Oh, okay, so I decided, I'll roll at disadvantage. 23. Okay.
Well,
I'll decide. It's easier this way anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's, sorry, I just saw a dice parser said no, and I'm like,
No.
yeah, of course. No, I want the lore. Let me give the lore. So, yeah, exactly. So, this is the second time you noticed that they looked a little solemn, and you're kind of wondering why. And Bevin looks up at Arata and says,
You like it here, right?
Yeah, of course I do. It's a nice place. And,
Yeah.
Arata, takes a moment. He looks around at the counter, before he finds something that's underneath it. And, he reaches for it. He doesn't exactly duck, but he does, like, reach an arm. And he grabs something, and, what's in his hand, he kind of, like, tosses it back and forth between his hands, and he says, "Why? Got something on your mind?" And he sits down. What was in his hand, and he puts it on the counter, slides it over to Bevin, and he goes, "Penny for your thoughts." It's a chocolate plane. It's a chocolate plane.
Bevin looks at the coin for a moment and tentatively picks it up.
Oh. You made a joke.
Yeah, I did.
And they kind of poke at the coin a little before they realize, yeah, it's a little wrapper on the outside.
This chocolate?
Yeah.
They look really excited now. they rapidly open a little bit of it, and they take a little bite.
Ugh. I always like chocolate.
Yeah.
They look down at the coin. Then they slowly look back up to Arana.
You've probably met a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, you met a lot of tunes and stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean,
And
tunes and some real kind, but, you know, mostly tunes.
really?
Yeah.
And they put the coin down for a moment.
How do you feel about them?
About tunes?
Yeah.
I think they're pretty great.
Really?
Yeah. He kind of pauses, and he goes, and he takes a moment to figure out how to word what he wants to say, and he goes, you know, tunes come in all sorts of, like, shapes and sizes, and that's just normal for them, and I just think it's really cool that they can get along no matter, like, who they are, what they are. I think that's neat. You can roll insight on that.
Me, who knows, I'm probably not gonna roll well, and it's like, oh, dang.
So you just
That's a
got
nat
a nat 20 on that. Oh boy. Okay, how am I... Okay.
Okay.
What am I going to do with this? Oh.
Sorry.
But, okay.
It's all right. Take your time. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Arata says that like tunes like don't really mind what kind of shape other tunes come in. They all seem to get along pretty well. Um, the way Arata says it, you kind of get the impression that he's met a lot and a lot of people, real kind people, who tend to make judgments before they actually get to know someone.
Mm.
And he's just like it gets on his nerves that people would do that, you know, just judge someone based on appearance or attitude or something. But he truly does mean that he likes tunes. Just because they seem to be amicable. God, I can pronounce the word amicable with each other.
So, uh, Bevin, Bevin just tentatively, I used that already, reaches out a little hand and pats the top of one of Arata's hands. I think you're pretty neat too. And they just.
And
I mean, I've met some people, not a lot, you know, during shows and stuff. And yeah, I've met both real and tunes.
And they slide their hand away for a moment to fidget with their skirt yet again.
And I mean,
And they look up at Arona.
you think I'm neat?
I think you're probably one of the neatest people I've ever met.
And they have they just giggle a little, like, oh, you don't have to say that.
I mean it.
And their smile fades a moment.
That's good. And well, I'm glad for that.
And you can tell though that their smile seems a little sad, and you're not quite sure why.
Do I dare roll another insight?
You don't have to. I was gonna give it to you if you want.
Okay.
Let's go give it to you.
Because I think what Arata would do, Arata kind of his smile also softens, and he glances to the side, kind of like he's looking at something that isn't there, and he looks back to Bevin, and he says, Bevin, it's okay if you don't want to answer this, but you mentioned a troupe and doing shows. Are you traveling?
Yeah,
Are you traveling with them right now?
oh, no. I travel with.
And they open their little overall front pocket, and they pull out Taki.
Traveling with Taki.
And they hold out the little talking type.
You want to hold him?
Sure. You had this when we were at the museum, and he holds out a hand to take it.
Bevin gives over Taki, and immediately it goes doo 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 doo. It's like a little hello. And you notice though that this device, or maybe yeah, it's pretty obvious. It seems like a real kind of toy. So it's a little odd, but it's a kid's toy.
It's a toy, but like, and he does kind of like file away the information that, oh, this is a real kind toy. A Toon has a real kind toy. So he files that away for later, but he kind of looks it over.
And Taki chirps up and says, now spell protect.
Protect.
That is correct. And Bevin just looks a bit happy.
Oh, you wanted to spell with you. That's nice. Yeah, he sure loves to spell.
And Bevin makes a little motion like, okay, I'll take it back now.
he hands it back to you. And Arata goes, Are you any good at spelling?
Well, I'm practicing.
And they hit a couple buttons on Taki.
I have little lists I make of words that I learned to spell. I have a list for food, and that's right. I should put that on the list.
And they hit a couple more buttons and then look to Arata and ask,
how do you spell curry?
All right, that is C-U.
C-U.
R-R. That's 2 R's.
Right. Y.
Y.
Well, I'm glad I asked because I was going to spell it with a K.
And they save the word on there.
Well, if you ever
I have lists.
well, if you ever need help with learning how to spell things, I'm always willing to give a hand.
Well, I think Taki's pretty good at it too. But I'll take all the help I can get.
Hey,
Yeah.
more help doesn't hurt.
They scroll through each of their lists. And as they go through, they land on one of them. And on the top it says, words for when you're an adult.
Yeah, this one isn't very long. But I guess that just means I guess I'm more mature. I could say plenty of words, but not really these ones.
Yeah, you might want to wait for those.
And then they scroll down the list, which only currently has like 5 words.
God, are they swear words?
Yes, they are.
Arata is trying to hold back a laugh. Arata's like, who taught this child how to swear? This is hilarious.
They get to the bottom of the list. And then they look kind of, they look like they look very pensive. They're kind of like,
You spelled that one right. You just.
What's the word?
Uh, and they do look a little embarrassed, like, well, I mean, I don't have to know exactly how to spell them. I can't really say them right now. Because I might get in trouble, you know?
Yeah, that's fair, I guess.
But,
Uh,
this one.
And they point to the last word on the list, which is, you can read, bastard.
Um, this one. Like, I know it's bad, but does it just have one meaning or does it have more?
I think that kind of depends on who you talk to. Because yeah, it
Uh,
can be a bad word, but it's one of those words that like didn't always mean like a swear. Like it actually had a meaning before it turned into a bad word, you know? Does that make sense?
uh, I think so. Um,
And then they look down at the screen again. And then
they take a little breath and then they look at Arata. Um, so if you put it with another word, it could be different.
I I think that depends on the other word you're putting it with. Arata's trying so hard, man.
sorry.
No, he's like,
Because
Um, well, because
and they look again at the screen and they don't take their eyes off of it, but they ask Arata,
um, I just wanted to know what what's what's a no, I should know, but
do you want to know what it means?
no,
and they set Taki down on the counter.
um, you got along okay with Sammy, right?
Yeah.
And and all the other tunes, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Um, and you still like me, right?
Yeah, I like you, Bevin.
Hmm.
Are you okay?
Well,
Is something on your
then
mind?
they hold out a hand with a little pinky extended. Can you promise me something?
Of course. And, oh boy. I think at this point, Arata would know how much a pinky promise means to both tunes and children. But he loves this child. So, like, he holds out. Um, he he hesitates a moment, and he goes, well, what's the promise? Let's start with that.
Oh,
They lower their hand for a second,
um, just
and they hold it back out again.
promise me that you won't tell anybody what I say next.
All right. Arata pantomimes zipping his lips, locking it, and throwing away the key, and he does it in a manner that he's trying to be funny again, and he takes your pinky and his.
So, sorry. Bevin gives a little bit of a squeeze before they kind of sit back down a little.
Well,
and that they look down. They don't. They're purposefully avoiding eye contact. And they fidget again with their skirt. Seems to be a thing that they do.
Arata takes a moment and he says, I promise I won't get mad if that's what you're scared of.
Look up and you notice that they look a little teary-eyed. Not like about to cry, but their eyes look a little watery.
Oh, Arata's heart just kind of like, oh.
You know, when we were doing the when we were helping at the museum, right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't make that jump. You know, the one that Sammy did.
Yeah, I think so. I think I remember that.
Well, it's not like I was really scared. It's not like but I just don't think I could, because.
And they take a deep breath and just sigh.
Arata's moving around the counter so he can take a seat in the stool on your other side, Bevin, because Genie is still on his stool.
And then, yeah, Bevin turns their body towards Arata, but their face is still kind of away.
I didn't think I could do it, because I'm a halfer.
And they look at you like you would know what that is.
Arata kind of blinks and he goes, "Do you mean like half-tune?"
They look down, and you can see that they've bunched up their skirt a little in their fists, and they just give a silent nod.
Oh, Bevin, I love this child so much.
And
Arata kind of like, he's very gentle when he does this, but he gently puts one hand on Bevin's shoulder and he goes, "Well, I don't think that's anything to be ashamed of."
And Bevin looks up a little at Arata.
I mean, I don't think so either. I think, but I'm just not sure. Like, I don't know if Sammy will like me, if they know. I don't know if anyone really likes.
And they kind of look at Arata's hand that's on their shoulder.
I just don't really know much about what I can do.
Arata pauses and he pulls his hand back and what he ends up doing is he opens his arms a little bit, like he's offering a hug if he wants, if Bevin wants a hug.
And Bevin is definitely taking the hug. No hug, like they love hugs, but this is especially a good hug time. So
Yeah.
they they kind they kind of just push off of their stool to just kind of a little bit of launch themselves into into Arata for a moment.
I get the feeling like Bevin jumped into his arms essentially, and Arata's just kind of like holding them, carrying them, half kind of carrying them, like half like holding, but he's giving them like a gentle rub on their back, and they say
That makes me feel so soft.
yeah, bro, Bevin was like so close to like crying, and like Arata's just like, oh no, I love this child.
Child.
and Arata takes a moment, tries to figure out what to say, and he goes, well, I'm not sure what a halfer, that's what you want to call it, is capable of either, but even if you can or can't do something that other tunes can do or other real kind can do, that doesn't make you any that doesn't make you any less. You are still Bevin, and people are going to love you just for that fact alone.
Bevin's been kind of gripping the back of Arata's shirt for a moment, and then kind of loosens their grip a little and looks up at him.
Well, I mean, I didn't think I was too different, but that's what Laffy calls them, halfers. And he says that it's good that I look more like a toon, because we have a whole toon troop, you know. I'm kind of the only one really different.
Can I tell you a secret?
Secret? I promise I won't tell.
Yeah, you gotta promise you don't tell anybody, okay?
Yes.
But Genie already knows, so he can hear this too. And if you look, Genie has hopped onto the counter. He's really not supposed to do that, but he's hopped onto the counter and he's walked closer to you two, because he was a little bit worried about Bevin.
Oh.
But Arata goes, he sets you back down on your stool, and he leans in, and he whispers, I'm not actually a human.
Bevin goes wide-eyed and is like, well, then, who are you? What are you?
I'm what's called a Kalash Star. Basically what that means is do you know what a soul is?
I think so. It's kind of like your heart, but different.
yeah, it's something like that. I'm Arata, and that's true. This is me. I'm Arata, and I've always been Arata. But let's say there's another soul, in this body, and he kind of likes to talk in my head sometimes.
So, you two?
Bevin's like,
You got two people? That's super neat. Is it
No,
is it really confusing?
well, Arata's chuckling and he laughs, and Jeannie's like also kind of like snarking, cause like, okay, maybe I didn't describe it pretty well, but the other guy, his name's Lupine. The other guy, he can't really do much of anything except, talk to me.
Huh.
But, yeah, I'm not actually a human because, well, I've got Lupine.
You got an extra buddy.
Yeah.
and they smile sweetly.
And between you and me, and it leans in again.
Oh.
That means you made two friends for the price of one.
Sorry. Bevin is giggling, but God, I'm laughing right now. God damn it.
Okay.
Good one.
Avocado.
Oh, hold
And-
on a second. Yes.
Did you see what I posted in Gremlin's chat?
Oh, yeah, I'm in a D&D thing.
You can just tell though,
Wait a second.
just from their face, Bevin is delighted. Like they might not exactly quite understand it yet, but they think this is pretty neat. They actually grab Taki from off the counter and they hit a couple buttons
Okay. So that means
and they go under like a little persons list and it's like,
so this would be the first time that I met so someone like you. How do you spell
Clash Star?
uh-huh.
Alright, that's K-A. I
K
have to type this out for myself. Give me a
A.
second.
I don't even know how to spell it either.
Clash. Okay, so it's K-A.
K A
L-A.
L A
S-H.
S H
T-A-R.
T A R. Kalashtar. That's how you say it, right?
Yes. There you go.
Okay.
And so they hit a little button to save it on there.
Wow.
And they lean back a little on the stool, but against the counter.
You really do meet all sorts of people.
Yeah.
But don't worry.
And their face gets a little serious.
I won't tell anybody.
Alright. I trust you.
Yes, you can.
And they hit a little fist against their chest, like, yeah.
Arata kind of just gently places a hand on Bevin's head and just lightly rustles their hair.
Oh. Yes.
Sorry.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
You can go ahead if you want.
And Arata kind of goes, I guess that makes us both a little different.
And they look a little surprised.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that doesn't mean it's bad. Just different.
There's nothing wrong with being different.
But
And that they're still holding Taki.
I really am not bad, right? Because
And they go through the screens back to the adult word list.
and they said, because um, see, the he Laffy calls me Halfer. Um, a couple people didn't really like that from the troop. Um, but you want to know? I overheard him say something. Um, I don't think he knew I was there, but he told me. Well, not me. He told them that hey, it's better than calling him a
And he looks at the screen.
a bastard child.
Oh, the look on Arata's face. Oh.
So I'm not bad, am I?
Not bad. You are not bad, Bevin.
So but that's why I wanted to ask. I didn't know if it meant something different. You know, when you put it together.
And Arata takes a moment and he says, he sighs and he's not sure if he completely wants to do this, if he wants to say this, but he feels like he probably should. Hang on, let me hang on. Okay? I'm gonna roll a d2.
I was just say, where's my dice? I need to decide.
I'm gonna roll a d2 with dice parser. One's for yes, he does this. 2 is for no. Okay.
Oh,
okay.
he does. Okay.
Arata glances at Talkie, and he looks back to Bevin, and he looks towards Genie. And Genie just kind of meow. and he takes a deep breath, and he says, well, yeah, a bastard can be a bad word, but you know how I said it didn't always mean it was bad?
Bevin looks up from Taki at Arata.
Uh-huh.
A long time ago, bastard used just a bastard child just used to mean that someone is a kid whose dad isn't in the picture anymore, and that's either because, you know, of a divorce, or the dad's, you know, gone. But sometimes people will say that about somebody else, and it's not necessarily nice. So that's why some people say it's a bad word.
And their face kind of just like, it lights up for a moment when you were explaining the original definition, and then it kind of just goes back down when you said, oh, it could be not a good word.
Well, I guess then I just gotta ask him, huh?
I guess. But probably don't want to use that word too often.
Oh, don't worry. I wasn't going to. That's why we were gonna make a promise. It kind of covered both.
And they put Taki back into their pocket.
Oh no, the tea.
They didn't finish their tea.
Oh.
They grab the tea. They take another sip.
Well, it still tastes good. It's just not hot.
Yeah, sorry, we've been talking for a while.
Yeah. I hope I didn't help hope I didn't bother you too much.
You know, I don't think there's any way in the world you could bother me.
Me. Oh.
Judy's still on the counter, and he kind of sits like off to the side from you, Bevin, and Judy just goes, meow, and he kind of lowers his head like he's you know what he actually does is he lifts a paw and he kind of just like gestures at his own head. You can roll insight, but it's gonna be a low DC. I'm going to tell you that. Yeah.
Oh.
Genie's offering you to pet him.
And this kid's face couldn't light up any more than it has. It's just like,
You want me to pet? Pet?
and they hold out their hand like going closer and closer, like,
Yes, pet?
Genie like bumps his head against your hand. And Arata's like kind of chuckling as he watches this happen.
So Bevin's little hand just goes from Jeannie's head to like to the neck to their back, you know, just doing a nice little motion.
Soft.
Yeah, he is. You know, Genie doesn't usually let people pet him. But I think he just likes you.
And
Really?
they look super happy. Like,
Oh, chosen by a cat.
I'll let you in on another secret.
Wow, today's full of secrets today.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure how much of a secret this one is, but Genie can understand common.
Oh,
He can't speak it, but he does understand a few words.
and so they turn back to Jeannie.
okay. Then that means, how?
And they take their hand away for a moment, and they just they put out a little pinky.
How would they?
He just puts a paw, kind of like no claws, but they kind of like he kind of just hooks it, like he's gently holding your pinky.
Okay. You promised too. You won't say anything, right? Good. I'll take that as a yes. Ew. Well, I have to say,
And they turn back to Arata.
thank you for inviting me.
Of course.
How much is for the curry?
And they're wrestling in their hammer space, their overall pocket.
Arata sets an amount of gold on the counter, and he goes, "You know what? It's on me."
What? But yeah.
I invited you out here. It would be rude to make a guest that I invited to pay.
Well, only if that's all right with you.
They take their hand back out of their pocket.
Of course it is. And if you ever want to hang out again, you can drop on by. You know, just ask for me.
That'd be really nice.
Of course.
And they give a little bashful smile, like,
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, and I get to see you too. They do another little pat on Jeannie's head.
And I guess this is a good place to end off because we did go a little bit over time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I just didn't even realize what the time was until now, so. Arata gives Bevin one more hug if they want, but after
Definitely.
after that, he slides them one more chocolate coin for the road.
And they eagerly take it and they put it in their pocket.
And I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you all for stopping by. Bye bye. I'm gonna stop the recording. Bye, guys.
Okay.